Hello, everybody, and welcome to another talk here. So, I put in some work on Greed and Dolphin Street, the arrangement, and I thought maybe I'll even just share a little bit of the process that I go through for making videos for the YouTube channel. And in some sense, for if I make an arrangement for myself to play, some of these things will apply too. So when it comes to the YouTube channel, I'm trying to reach a fairly broad audience, at least within guitar, and if it's for this channel, the jazz thing. So I know a lot of folks will have some chops going for sure, and maybe a lot of chops. It's hard to say, who exactly is watching all the videos, but some people might even be beginners. So certain tunes are not really gauged towards beginners. Some are, but anyway, kind of often the goal is to have something that's fairly accessible, playable, and just in general really kind of practical to use if you're playing a concert or something. You might want to embellish things or make some different changes to things, but if you're doing and so I think a lot of these arrangements could be done as used as starting points, or something like that. But if you're playing like a casual sort of thing, these can provide a good framework to work from. I would definitely encourage folks to change things, and I'm sure that happens. You'd work through a certain arrangement and then starts to evolve into your own kind of direction. But anyhow, I thought I'd cover that a little bit. So a part of the process, before I get to all this, is to come up with maybe some basic idea of some shapes, and that's what we did with the harmonizing melody. Basically, how does the melody note relate to a chord, and what's a kind of go-to chord shape, or Joe Pass would call them grips, I think. What's a shape that just kind of works in a practical sense, right? So we come up with this kind of shape, and then so I might start writing some things out, or I might not. Usually I don't, but at some point I have to write it to get it onto a video, if I'm using the notation in the tablature. So I'll come up with some ideas, and then I'll play through and see what feels, maybe doesn't feel great, or what feels really good. Even just time-wise, but also just for the fingers, moving from one chord shape. Is this chord shape really going to move that well, or is it going to be a constant struggle to work against? Like I said, I want something that folks can really play and not necessarily work up to, but maybe need to. All right, so let's kind of dive into this. Anyway, so that's the process, and so I spent time, I think Saturday night, and other nights too, but I spent a lot of time Saturday night just playing, 4 bars, 8 bars, 4 bars, 2 bars, 1 bar, over and over again, and just feeling it out. And so that's a process that I tend to go through. All right, well, let's look at it. So here we go. We'll move over to the screen. So at this point, usually I find some notation errors. So this is the kind of first draft. It's written out as I think I'm playing it. That doesn't always turn out to be the case. But so oftentimes there's like something, it's a fret off or something, some notation. There's always some notation problem. You know, there's got to be some issue in the notation. But who knows? Maybe not. So anyway, we have this E flat major 7, playing kind of C minor 7 chord shape. So kind of an E flat 6 rather than major 7 that's notated there. But those kinds of things I'll just leave like that because that's the change of the those are just the chord changes. So the voicing that I play, you know, may end up being a little bit different. Okay. All right, and then we switch over to E flat major 7 at that point. And then we're doing kind of a super simple thing. We're just kind of pulling out of that arpeggio the notes, and that's mainly why I'm using that chord shape, right? So I can play the chord and then play the single notes out of it, and it just kind of works. Okay, and then we're gonna have this shape a lot, right? So again, G flat major 7 over E flat or E flat minor. Okay, that's where the melody is too. Okay, and then we're gonna play this F major 7, but it's over the E flat, and that's gonna be taken care of by the bass. Play that note again. Okay, then I'll make some little decisions, like when I'm playing it, you know, like I said, Saturday, or I had a few other sessions I worked into, but I'll make some little decisions and create a little bit rough backing track, and maybe I'll record a little bit as I play. So I decided to rest here because you get into some issues with fingerings and stuff. So you could kind of play F major 7 and then hold that C and then maybe play this, but then that kind of starts sounding like A flat 7. So, and that's not the only determining factor, but it just seemed to work well to just kind of rest there and then play this voicing. Okay, which is written there, and I am recording this for the podcast, so try to keep this audio friendly as well. Basically, this is C sharp minor 7 chord in root position. Minor 3rd, major 3rd, minor 3rd. All right, and then pretty much using that so that I can do the same thing I did with the E flat major 7. I can play the melody right out of it, and then moving into here. Now here I came into a little bit of a technical issue, so as we move forward into the C7 flat 9, in order to keep this B flat ringing, hopefully, and change the chord, it seemed better to hold this chord shape with individual fingers, which, now that I think about it, but anyway, I'll get back to that. But so then I can kind of keep that 3rd finger down and move these other fingers over to give myself a C7 flat 9, which is really kind of a G diminished 7 shape as far as what I'm doing, but there will be a C in the bass. But yeah, that backing up, that sort of brings up, there are some technical kinds of issues that arise. Like if you play this C sharp minor 7, which I played earlier, notice fingers 2 and 3 are kind of on the same fret. They're on adjacent strings. And what happens with the shapes there is that they end up on the first 2 strings if you play those shapes with individual fingers. So I began to think on some of these I might even just, rather than barring the first 2 strings, maybe I'll use the individual fingers so that it shifts a little better to, so let's say that to that, right? Or this F major 7 to the C sharp minor 7, right? So that may be something that I end up doing. As far as some of these chords, it gets kind of interesting. There's this plurality concept that we've talked about from time to time that comes up. So you notice here we have F minor 7, or F minor 11 really, and then we have third inversion. Now, I haven't really decided how I'm going to notate it, if I want to notate it. I think I'm going to leave that note just kind of single. Now notice if I put, I have this chord shape, which keeps coming up again and again in this tune, or this arrangement anyway. So F minor 7, if we put that over the B flat, we end up with the B flat 9 sus, okay? So there's this relationship between the 2 and the 5. There's sort of like an intermediary, almost like stopover point in between those, which is the 5 sus chord, or the 2 over the 5 root note. Anyway, that's kind of of interest, right? Because you kind of go right back to that F minor 7 and then the F minor 11, really. Okay, and then we finally get the B flat 7 and it's altered. And then back to this E flat major 7. Right? So really this shape comes up quite a lot. Okay, and then we play this note again. And then we go up, kind of play the same thing. 3 frets to the right. Just something you hear in a lot of tunes. It's a very refreshing sound for everything to go up a minor third like that. Okay, 4. Really going through the same, this is that same process. Okay, and to this G flat major 7. And then I decided here, actually this rest was the first one that I thought I really just wanted to have a rest there, and I'd like to get this chord going. Actually, I didn't notate this in, so I just notated this morning. Okay, this is kind of a cool chord. A little different, right? Because we have this third on top. I've got this callus just kind of, or my fingernail kind of really digging into my callus, which is really painful at the moment. Anyway, we've got the third on the top. Let me see. That's better. We've got the third on the top. Okay, so we have the root and the fifth down low. So I'm changing those up. I'm playing a 9 and a 13 on the low end. Anyway, and we get this like kind of half step. So I'm trying to think about how I want that to lay out with the dynamics and the volume, but I think that's going to be kind of a cool moment, or it might end up just being subtle and not that important, but I'd like to kind of draw that out and make that sound kind of cool, because I think it's a neat voicing. And I think having the rest before it kind of gives the listener an idea, like, oh, maybe what happened, you know, there's nothing there. And then, you know, then giving them, you know, something 2 beats later. Okay. And then we're back, you know. So if you were maybe arranging this, you might want to try to do something maybe a little different. I don't know, but I'm keeping it the same. Okay, again, might want to switch it up, different fingerings here, with the same shape, just to set up this next shape. Might be just easier to get to since we're using the same 2 fingers. And then we're playing through that, and then we go into here. So here we kind of have to use individual fingers. Now I'm not sure, you know, I was thinking about maybe going through these changes and trying to accommodate some of these chords, but so we'll see about that. I might work that in. I don't know. Anyway, or I was thinking I would probably keep it kind of the same, just sort of simple. Okay, and then again, F minor, 7. Now here it changes it up a little bit. We have first inversion of D minor 7 flat 5. Okay, and then we're gonna go way up here. Now some of this I think I talked about on the harmonizing melody. So some of these ideas came up, but I changed this a little bit. Did it C minor 6, and then I'm gonna go to that same shape again, C minor. Now it's noted as C minor or B flat, and I'll let the bass take care of that. Okay, and then we're gonna go down here. Okay. Right, I think we went over this as well. If you notice, it's a kind of a good study in first 4 strings, right? So I think I'm pretty much putting this as all top 4 strings here. Okay, and then we get G minor, and then the F minor to the B flat, 7 alt. The root of that chord is in the melody, so you don't want to alter that part. Not that you could alter the root note, but you don't want to put, we don't want to put anything other than the melody on top here. So I've got the flat 7, 3, and then the flat 13. And then we're back to this. And then I thought I'd just write in a little turnaround based on a 1-6-2-5, really. Again, really kind of straightforward. So it's like a C7, flat 13, to F minor 9, to you know, B flat 7, flat 13 also. So, and then I'll probably have the video just kind of fading out, and then finale just added this measure. Anytime you do something on the last measure, it just adds another measure for whatever reason. but maybe there is a good reason for that. I don't know. So I always have kind of my battles with Finale, and I think I've talked about this on the channel before, but you know, when a student of mine, it was a jazz theory student of mine, just pointed out that, well, music is kind of complicated, so I guess it would be hard to write a program for music notation. And I mean, music notation is pretty complicated. I mean, I don't know if music itself is, but I guess it can be. Anyhow, so that does make sense. But as a side note, I've been working on learning MuseScore, which is going to take a while because it's just it's a little different, but I'm a little optimistic about it. And I've been using that site for finding some notations. So I was really getting some great practice in the last week, but the last 2 days, not so much. But it's been kind of nice. But I guess there are trade-offs. So anyhow, but I've got to keep up with it. But I had to do a few things. There are always things I need to do. I guess like anybody. But generally, it's really nice to at least get some warm-up period. I think it's almost completely necessary, really, to warm up for a period of time before really kind of performing. So I'm not going to play too much today. But I hope you found this talk of value to you. So if you did check this out on the YouTube, or not the YouTube channel, but if on the podcast, and you would like to see a video version of it, check out youtube.com/fretprints. That is where you should be able to find some information about the membership there on YouTube. So and those of you who are checking this out on YouTube, thanks for your membership and your support. I should have this video out, I think, by the weekend. So I'm really behind on a video. I don't like to go more than a month, that's for sure, on putting out like some video for the kind of main channel. But doing 4 or 5, usually 5 live streams and videos for the member area here on YouTube. So all right, everybody, thanks for checking this out, and I will see you all in the next one.